Prince Edward is the youngest child of Her Majesty the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh, the Earl and Countess of Wessex.
Prince Edward suggesting the risk of dying is a huge draw for young people to participate in the Duke of Edinburgh programme.
Everything went to hell when the least public person in the British royal family finally had enough and spoke out. Prince Edward, the youngest son of Queen Elizabeth II, finally had enough and started making his voice heard.
Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex, is the youngest child of Queen Elizabeth.
Why is he coming out to speak now? What secret had he held in his heart for that long? Join us as we take a deep dive into what exactly Prince Edward kept a secret from the entire public. Silent affection and connection to Diana. Prince Edward met Lady Diana Spencer for the first time during royal gatherings and family events in the late 1970s. Diana did not take long to become noticed and be a loved person at social events. But as time went by, poor Edward couldn't help but feel drawn to her approachable nature despite their age difference. How they interacted displayed mutual respect and a deep understanding of one another. The public attention during this period centered heavily on Diana's romance with Prince Charles, but no one ever thought of the growing emotional connection Edward was building with her. When Diana was elected Princess of Wales, she stepped fully into global public attention. Edward quietly watched his sister-in-law's life events, both when she succeeded and when she failed, and also lent his support whenever there was an opportunity. His feelings never developed into anything more than friendship, due to many reasons and, of course, participation in royal obligations. Edward held tremendous respect for Diana because she showed constant commitment to helping others and displayed good work in connecting with individuals of varied backgrounds. He kept his feelings for Diana hidden from public view because disclosing them would have triggered unfounded rumors. At an age younger than Diana's, Edward displayed inner maturity and noticed the hidden difficulties she faced at home. It was obvious that the centuries' worth of traditions in her in-laws' family clashed frequently with her modern, compassionate approach to life. As the heir to the throne, Charles faced many responsibilities that overshadowed his marital duties, but Edward, who was the youngest, had more freedom to recognize and see Diana's challenges. Diana's relationship with Edward stood apart from her popular documented ties to Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson. Edward listened to her without imposing criticism or opinions on her situation. He operated with pure dedication to her well-being because he had no hidden agendas, rivalries, or concerns that would affect their relationship. During that time, when the environment at the royal court felt detached and cold, Edward was a welcome presence that delivered the gentle companionship that Diana deeply needed. The years added more meaning to his quiet but vital place in Diana's life. He kept himself out of the arguments between Diana and Charles while avoiding all attention regarding his relationship with her. He maintained respect for her privacy because he knew the world constantly watched everything she did. According to reports, Edward was one of only a few members of the royal family who truly understood the hardships Diana faced and saw past her media-driven identity to the compassionate and suffering person she really was. Despite their platonic relationship, their emotional bond remained strong. Edward held great admiration for Diana's ability to transform societal norms because she used her royal platform to draw awareness to causes that traditional monarchy had previously ignored. From Diana's perspective, Edward emerged as someone whose royal bearing did not overshadow his basic human kindness, which stood out from the pretentious atmosphere that surrounded most of their world. As the days passed, following Diana's publicly painful divorce from Charles in 1996,
Diana has agreed to get a divorce from Prince Charles.
Edward proved to be one of the few royal family members who showed compassion toward her. Edward believed that despite the title stripping away from Diana, she remained the mother of William and Harry. He acknowledged Diana's importance both in his family and throughout British culture and global society. He was profoundly affected by Diana's tragic passing in 1997. He intensely grieved her loss, yet his grief remained hidden from public view. While Charles and his siblings needed to handle media requests following Diana's passing, Edward had the advantage of privacy to properly grieve. The way Edward chose to respect Diana's memory was by supporting charitable programs that continued her social work to keep her ideas alive. The time he spent with Diana formed how he would handle being in the public eye. He gained essential knowledge from Diana about the significance of uniting duty with living authentically. After witnessing the burden of royal obligations personally, he decided to create a life with his wife, Sophie Rhys-Jones, that strikingly combined royal traditions with personal contentment. How was Edward able to meet his wife then, and did he go for someone who exhibits everything Diana is? Embracing a life of purpose. During a charity event in 1993, Prince Edward first met Sophie Rhys-Jones, who worked in public relations. Through their mutual beliefs and common hobbies, the pair built a solid bond. The similarities between Sophie Rhys-Jones and Diana Spencer went beyond physical appearance because both shared similar compassionate behaviors and charitable commitments. Royals and public alike saw the resemblance, but Prince Edward made it clear their relationship stemmed from Sophie's unique character alongside their shared values. He proposed to Sophie in January 1999 by presenting her with a special engagement ring that contained an oval diamond worth 2 carats surrounded by heart-shaped gemstones. Their wedding took place on June 19, 1999, at St. George's Chapel, which is located within Windsor Castle. The couple chose a small private wedding rather than grand royal traditions because they wanted to escape media attention. After their wedding, Edward received the title of Earl of Wessex, while Sophie gained the title of Countess of Wessex. Their union succeeded because they put their relationship needs above traditional royal protocol. The early stages of their marriage brought relentless public examination to Sophie, who experienced similar pressure to Diana. Through Edward's unwavering backing, Sophie could overcome royal demands while preserving her individuality. Their marriage has evolved into a solid union, where they maintain mutual admiration along with a shared commitment to their royal responsibilities. Through their charity endeavors, the couple followed Diana's lead by advocating for children's safety and disability rights and youth education initiatives.
We wish you all the very best for the future because you, boys and girls, you are our futures.
Through their dedicated service, both the royal family and the public showed their admiration for this couple. Their dual role in monarchy and parenthood allowed them to teach their children, Lady Louise Windsor and James Viscount Severn, about offering service while remaining humble in all circumstances. With her subtle guidance, Diana shaped Edward's life both privately and as he conducted his public work. Through her example, he discovered that helping people creates more meaningful change than holding powerful titles. His work through education initiatives and arts projects alongside young program support has brought lasting benefits to multiple communities, although he has consistently avoided publicity. His lack of major scandals stands out from his siblings because he learned from past experiences. By watching his relatives make mistakes through failed marriages and public scandals, he decided to follow a different path. Through this approach, he has established one of the closest long-lasting relationships within the royal family. In what way did the prince mourn someone who was like a mentor to him? The prince's silent tribute. Throughout his life, Edward has gained a reputation for maintaining a reserved personality, together with a lack of interest in attention-seeking behaviors. During Princess Diana's life, he preserved a discreet bond with her, unlike his 2 brothers. After Diana's death, he showed signs of emotional turmoil, but he carefully managed his public display of grief and family responsibilities well. He joined his family at Diana's funeral to mourn the Princess of Wales while keeping his usual calm behavior. People who know him and of his well-being discovered inner signs of grief during those moments. He silently expressed his deeply felt emotions by taking quiet actions that sent strong messages. his activities for charitable organizations linked to Diana jumped to visible and notable heights. Internal sources revealed his commitment was a silent tribute to Diana because her influence on him had remained powerful even after her death. Sophie, the Countess of Wessex, experienced a unique form of grief following Diana's passing. Since her relationship started with Edward, people frequently made comparisons between Sophie and Diana. People always interpreted her appearance and behavior as clear echoes of how Diana used to be.
The Duchess of Edinburgh and the Princess of Wales, two women who are similar in more ways than one.
Following Diana's death, Sophie needed to navigate both her royal position and the invisible shadow of Edward's unexpressed grief. Sophie understood that he still thought of Diana despite her being absent from his life. The passing made her legacy appear stronger than ever. Sophie observed Diana's influence persisted in Edward through his ongoing support and advice to William and Harry. The situation created tension because she highly valued Edward's behavior but felt discomfort knowing that Diana remained present in his life. Nevertheless, she expressed her support through actions that let Edward mourn according to his needs and wishes. Edward paid tribute to Diana through personal promises rather than public statements. Each year, on Diana's birthday, he performed secret acts of charity that honored her memory through hospital visits and sponsored children's organizations while sustaining the causes that she had supported. He maintained a silent memorial practice that flowed from his heart rather than his royal responsibilities. Sophie remained the only individual who grasped the depth of significance behind these secretive actions. She understood that Edward dedicated his charitable conduct to the person who held a deeper meaning for him than he openly admitted. This devotion he gave to Diana's memory gradually shaped his bond with Sophie, having observed this hardship as an opportunity to see the full range of emotions her husband possessed. She learned to accept Diana's memory as an important truth of Edward's history that molded the man she married. The mutual recognition between themselves about their shared history and mutual grief, along with respect, became a foundation of their growing bond. As earlier stated, Edward's approach to mourning Diana differed from his brothers Charles and Andrew, since he remained out of the public spotlight. His emotional response lacked overly dramatic displays or tearful eye appearances. His tribute to Diana was done fully away from public eyes and acknowledgement. The prince signed the Book of Condolences first among senior royals when he went during the early morning hours, because he wanted to stay off camera. He spent his time wandering the grounds of Buckingham Palace, while he thought deeply about things. His picture revealed significant changes in behavior as he grew withdrawn yet introspective and avoided social interactions. Inside Royal says his subtle gesture received attention. Everyone in the court noticed his behavior changing while members of his family observed his low spirits. Queen Elizabeth showed deep concern about her son's emotional withdrawal. He chose to hold his grief privately instead of addressing it in public. Mourning Diana represented a personal sorrow because he believed showing it publicly was unnecessary.
And do you feel any sadness about how it's played out?
Oh, of course, I mean, it's there are all sorts of issues and circumstances there, but...
His refusal to speak about the experience caused others within the royal family to see him differently. Through his grief, Edward gained both public admiration and family recognition as a deeper person who emerged from his brother's shadow. He evolved from being a forgotten prince into a man who showed emotional depth after enduring his tragedy privately. What distinguishes Prince Edward from his role as a royal leader? How does his personal identity continue to influence his existence beyond royal responsibilities? The Prince Beyond Royalty. Prince Edward has always maintained a mysterious and difficult-to-understand persona that extends beyond his royal position and duties in the royal court. He chose a route opposed to his public-engaging siblings since he followed an unconventional path that deviated from royal protocol. He developed a strong passion for art as a child. In contrast to his brother, the future King Charles, and his brother Andrew, who were trained as potential monarchs, he chose a different path toward theater and television production. Although he spent a short time as a Royal Marines recruit before leaving, and for that he received negative scrutiny from both media and family members. He then dedicated himself to building an entirely new vocational path by entering the media world. Edward established his own television production company named Ardent Productions, which specialized in producing documentaries during the 1990s. The entertainment industry reacted differently to his business initiative. Some interpreted his plan as royal modernization, yet other audiences saw it as a disastrous attempt. The media attacked Edward harshly because they felt he not only lacked business experience, but could not do anything worthwhile. At the same time, his production company faced numerous challenges. Needless to say, that path came to an end. Edward moved past this failure by choosing to build a peaceful existence. After tying the knot with Sophie Rhys-Jones in 1999, they formed a royal couple which the public has deemed stable. Edward's marriage to Sophie Rhys-Jones lacked the public controversies that plagued Charles and Andrew's union. The royal couple shielded their children, James and Lady Louise, from intense media publicity. After Harry and Meghan Markle left their royal duties,
the world watched as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stepped away from the royal family for a life away from the British media.
Edward has assumed additional responsibilities as part of the royal family. He now actively engages in charitable causes by focusing his efforts on the Duke of Edinburgh's award program, established by his late father, Prince Philip. The monarchy sometimes depends on him to appear at numerous international functions. Despite taking on additional royal responsibilities, Edward remains a relatively low-profile royal. His refusal to interfere in contentious matters has earned him respect, while simultaneously making him unnoticed. But what about his relationships with his siblings? Has the peace they show in public always existed without underlying tension between them? Sibling rivalries and clashes. Prince Edward stands as the royal who has avoided controversies, yet his bond with his brothers Charles and Andrew ended up facing challenges in their prior connections. As the youngest prince in his family, Edward faced competition from the ambitious Charles, who needed to become king one day, and the preferred son, Andrew. Rumors had revealed numerous tense situations between Edward and Andrew. Charles embraced his future kingship through traditional responsible behavior, yet Andrew and Edward experienced complicated relationships. Queen Elizabeth's preferred son, Andrew, had a reputation of arrogant behavior with a strong, entitled attitude, while Edward maintained a more modest character, which kept him distant from public displays of attention. Their biggest quarrel occurred when Edward and his production company, Ardent Productions, tried to film Prince William while studying at university during the 1990s. The action provoked strong backlash from Prince Charles and Prince Andrew because they viewed it as an inappropriate intrusion into their family privacy. As time passed, the nature of their relationship underwent additional changes. Edward grew into a reliable figure among family members of the royal family. At the same time, Andrew lost public trust due to his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. When Andrew's public downfall led to his loss of royal responsibilities, Edward gradually took on more essential duties. And as Edward gained popularity with power, Andrew's reputation declined. The connection between Edward and Charles has stayed neutral throughout their years together. Edward maintains a position of reliable support to his older brother, despite their unclear relationship. Following Charles' ascension to the throne, Edward acquired increased royal importance through obtaining his deceased father's title, the Duke of Edinburgh. Edward proved resilient throughout his time serving in the royal family. His ability to stay unflustered, combined with his minimal involvement in controversial actions, ensures his position remains solid within the royal family. What was his relationship with his kids like? And what were the measures they took before they started raising their children? Bond with his children. Prince Edward, together with his wife Sophie, created an atmosphere of stability and care that nurtured their children, Lady Louise Windsor and James Viscount Severn. Despite growing up in royalty, the couple has chosen to offer their children an ordinary family life experience. Sophie revealed that her children follow an educational routine at an average and normal school. Both children attend regular school events and participate in usual friend activities like sleepovers and parties. She clarified that both children maintain a family relationship with Queen Elizabeth because she is their grandmother. Their choice not to use or accept the His/Her Royal Highness titles with their children represented an effort to help them develop self-sufficiency beyond royal work. Sophie stated that the family strives to educate the children about earning their own living from day one. Through this approach, both Lady Louise and James will have the independence to accept or decline their titles when they become adults, even though Sophie considers title retention unlikely. The COVID-19 pandemic period allowed Prince Edward to share how his children displayed different personalities regarding their homeschool education experience. According to Edward, the children were opposites because Lady Louise had difficulty adapting to virtual learning, while James thrived in remote education because he favored it. The family utilizes their spare time to participate in activities that help unite them. Edward spends quality time with James by bringing him fishing, and he shares his passion for equestrian activities with Lady Louise. Sophie praised Edward's skills during barbecues because the children adore watching him cook. The family prefers to spend their leisure time between countryside walks and active activities at their Bagshot Park home. Beyond shared activities, Edward and Sophie have instilled strong values in their children, emphasizing humility, service, and responsibility. Lady Louise, for instance, has been noted for her quiet dedication to royal engagements, stepping into public duties with grace. Do you think Prince Edward and Andrew will ever grow close? And do you think Edward's children would follow their mother's predictions and reject the royal titles? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.